Tom Miller was enjoying his tuna sandwich when the Galactic Council declared war on Earth. The council chambers, with their towering crystal walls and floating platforms, fell silent as Supreme Chancellor Axthor finished reading the formal declaration. Everyone expected the human ambassador to show fear, panic, or at least a hint of concern. Instead, Tom took another bite of his sandwich. "Could you repeat the part about fleet movements?" he asked, casually brushing some crumbs from his ordinary black suit. "I was trying to get this bit of lettuce unstuck from my teeth." The Supreme Chancellor's three eyes blinked in rapid succession. The other council members, representing over 200 advanced civilizations, shifted uncomfortably in their anti-gravity seats. This wasn't how primitives were supposed to react to a war declaration. "Ambassador Miller," Axthor boomed, his voice echoing through the massive chamber. "Perhaps you don't understand. The combined galactic fleet will enter your solar system in exactly one standard rotation. Your civilization's continued defiance of council authority ends now." Tom glanced at his watch, a simple mechanical timepiece that seemed to offend the technology-loving council members even more than his casual attitude. "One rotation, so that's about 6 days Earth time." He pulled out his phone, an action that made several council members flinch. They still couldn't believe humans carried computers powerful enough to run a small space station in their pockets and used them primarily to look at pictures of cats. "Let me check my calendar," Tom continued, swiping through his phone. "Next Tuesday. Oh, that's not great timing. We've got a trade meeting scheduled with the Proxima Centauri delegation. Would Wednesday work better for you guys?" A low murmur spread through the council chambers. The Proxima Centauri representative, a being of pure energy contained in a crystalline matrix, flickered in what might have been embarrassment. They had indeed scheduled a trade meeting to discuss importing Earth's coffee beans, which had become a highly valued commodity in the galaxy. "This is not a negotiation," Axthor thundered, his ceremonial robes billowing dramatically despite the lack of wind. "We are declaring total war on your species." Right, Tom nodded, finishing his sandwich. "But about that trade meeting, should I reschedule it for the following week? I mean, assuming Earth isn't destroyed and all that." He chuckled at his own joke, making several council members gasp in horror. The Supreme Chancellor slammed his ceremonial staff against the floating platform, creating a shower of sparks. "The combined might of 200 civilizations will descend upon your world. Our ships will darken your skies. Our weapons will—" "Oh, hey," Tom interrupted, looking at his phone again. "Sorry, but my wife just texted. Apparently, our kids' school is having a bake sale fundraiser next week. Anyone interested in buying some cookies? My daughter makes these amazing snickerdoodles." The council chambers erupted in chaos. Several representatives began arguing among themselves. Others were frantically checking their data streams to verify if this was some kind of elaborate human psychological warfare, and a few were quietly asking their assistants what a snickerdoodle was and why it sounded so threatening. Tom stood up, brushing the last crumbs from his suit. "Well, if we're done here, I should head back to Earth. Got to pick up some baking supplies, and I should probably let someone know about the war thing." He paused at the chamber doors. "By the way, if you're still planning to invade next Tuesday, you might want to avoid the Chicago area. There's a major construction project on the I-90, and the traffic is just brutal. Wouldn't want your invasion fleet to get stuck in rush hour." As the doors closed behind him, Tom pulled out his phone and made a quick call. "Hey, John. Yeah, it finally happened. The council declared war. No, Tuesday next week. Yeah, I know. Terrible timing. The Bears are playing. Listen, can you let Defense know? I've got to stop by the store. We're out of eggs and Jane needs them for the bake sale. Thanks, buddy. Oh, and if anyone asks, I told the council about the I-90 construction, so we should be able to redirect their fleet right into that traffic nightmare by O'Hare." In the council chambers, the representatives of 200 advanced civilizations were beginning to realize that maybe, just maybe, They had made a terrible mistake. Jack Thompson was having a normal day at the Detroit Auto Assembly Plant when the news about the alien war declaration came through. He was under a half-assembled truck when his coworker, Bob, kicked his foot. "Hey Jack, aliens are invading next Tuesday," Bob said, sipping his coffee from a worn thermos. "Want to switch shifts? I've got a dentist appointment that morning." Jack rolled out from under the truck, a wrench in his hand. "Next Tuesday, can't switch, Bob. My daughter Lisa has a soccer game at 4, and I promised I'd be there." He wiped some grease off his hands with a rag. "Maybe ask Mike from the afternoon shift." The factory's ancient speakers crackled to life. "Attention all workers," came the plant manager's voice, as bored as ever. "Due to the upcoming alien invasion next Tuesday, all overtime requests must be submitted by Friday. Also, the cafeteria will be serving meatloaf today instead of the planned lasagna. That is all." Jack shrugged and went back to work on the truck. Above the factory, 3 news helicopters were broadcasting live coverage of people's reactions to the war declaration. They seemed disappointed to find everyone just going about their day. At the local coffee shop across the street, the morning regulars watched the news on the old TV mounted in the corner. The ticker at the bottom read, "Galactic War DCLARD. Dalu up 2.3% on NCORE East defense spending. Local weather FORCAST Chevos Rayan on TQR's day." "Hey Mary," called out one customer to the barista, "better make my coffee extra strong. If we're getting invaded next week, I want to be wide awake for it." "That'll be $3.50, Mary replied, not missing a beat. "And don't forget your loyalty card. 5 more purchases and you get a free coffee, alien invasion or not." Meanwhile, at City Hall, the Municipal Council was having an emergency meeting about the upcoming war. The main topic of discussion wasn't evacuation plans or defense strategies. It was whether to reschedule next week's street cleaning. "Look," said Councilman Pete Roberts, gesturing at a calendar, "if the aliens are coming Tuesday, we should move street cleaning to Monday. I don't want those ships landing on dirty streets. What will they think of our city?" "But Monday is already booked for the pothole repair on Main Street," argued another council member. "We've had those complaints for weeks." "The potholes stay on schedule," declared Mayor Wilson firmly. "If the alien ships can't handle a few potholes, that's their problem. We'll just put up our usual drive with caution signs." Back at the auto plant, Jack's phone buzzed with a text from his wife. "Honey, picking up groceries. Alien invasion next week. Should I get extra milk?" He typed back, "Regular amount is fine. Milk goes bad too fast. But maybe grab some chips. Lisa's team might want snacks after the soccer game." The afternoon wore on like any other. The local news had moved on to coverage of a lost dog that had found its way home. Heartwarming story at 11, with the alien invasion relegated to a small corner graphic with a countdown timer. At shift end, Jack cleaned up his tools and clocked out. He passed by the plant's bulletin board, which had a new notice pinned up. "Attention employees. Due to the upcoming Galactic War, please note the following. 1. Parking Lot B will be reserved for potential alien ship landing from Tuesday 2. Regular safety protocols still apply. Hard hats required at all times. 3. Annual company picnic moved to Saturday to avoid conflict with invasion. 4. Remember to submit your timesheets by Friday as usual. 5. Carl's retirement party still on for Wednesday, invasion permitting. Thank you for your cooperation. Management." Jack grabbed his lunchbox and headed to his car. He had to stop by the sporting goods store. Lisa needed new soccer cleats for her game. As he drove, the radio alternated between traffic updates. "Expect delays on I-75 due to construction and possible alien scout ships." And the usual afternoon music program. Just another day in Detroit, alien invasion or not. The only real difference was that the break room conversation had shifted from complaining about the Lion's latest loss to debating whether the alien ships would respect the local parking regulations. Probably not, Jack thought. But then again, that's what parking tickets were for. The Galactic Council's first attack fleet arrived in the solar system exactly as scheduled on Tuesday morning. Admiral Krell, commander of 5,000 warships, expected to find Earth's military waiting for them. Instead, they were greeted by a small shuttle with Department of Interstellar paperwork written on its side. Approaching vessel, "This is Janet from the deck." The cheerful voice came through the communication system. "Do you have your invasion permits ready for inspection?" Admiral Krell's antenna twitched in confusion. "Permits? We are here to conquer your world. We don't need permits." "Oh dear," Janet said, sounding genuinely concerned. "I'm afraid that won't do it all. You'll need to fill out Form X47/B for unauthorized military presence in Sol space, Form ISV-12 for each vessel in your fleet, and naturally, the standard environmental impact assessment." Environmental impact. Krell's voice trailed off. "We have 5,000 warships." "Yes, that's going to require quite a bit of paperwork," Janet agreed. "Shall I send over the basic forms to get you started? They're only about 50 pages each." While the Admiral was trying to process this, another transmission came through. "This is air traffic control. Please be advised that several of your ships are in restricted airspace. There's a bird migration pattern through this sector. We'll need you to move the fleet about 3 light minutes to the left." "We will not move. We are here to." "Also," interrupted a new voice, "this is the EPA. We noticed your engine emissions are well above permitted levels for solar system operation. We'll need to schedule an inspection." Admiral Krell slumped in his command chair. His fleet's feared death ray cannons hung silent and unused as junior officers began downloading thousands of pages of permit applications. On Earth, the UN Security Council was holding an emergency session about the invasion. Sort of. Next on the agenda, the Secretary General said, checking his notes, the alien fleet's request for expedited processing of their paperwork. The Russian representative raised his hand. "My government requires all forms to be submitted in triplicate, with certified translations in Russian." The Chinese delegation seconds this motion, but also requires Mandarin translations. The UK would like to remind everyone that they'll need separate permits for England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. The American representative was busy texting on his phone. "Sorry, just checking with the HOA in Maryland. Apparently, some of their ships are the wrong shade of black for local zoning laws." Meanwhile, back in space, Admiral Krell was dealing with yet another transmission. "Hello, this is Bill from Human Resources," a friendly voice announced. "We noticed you have over 1,000 employees. Ship's crews count as employees under Earth labor laws. We'll need to review your workplace safety protocols, vacation policies, and healthcare coverage." Healthcare. They're invasion forces. "Everyone needs healthcare," Bill said firmly. "Also, we'll need documentation of your diversity and inclusion training programs." The Admiral's second-in-command approached with a tablet. "Sir, I've reviewed the initial paperwork. According to Earth regulations, we'll need 5,000 parking permits for the ships, environmental impact studies for each weapon system, work visas for all 2 million crew members, insurance coverage for potential space debris, registration for each ship's coffee maker, written permission from every planet we passed on the way here, a food handler's license for the fleet's cafeterias." Just then, another transmission crackled through. "This is the IRS. We couldn't help but notice your fleet entering U.S. space. We'll need to discuss the tax implications of your invasion force. Are you filing as a corporation or a nonprofit?" Admiral Krell stared out at Earth, visible as a blue marble in the distance. His mighty invasion fleet was now surrounded by small bureaucratic shuttles, each carrying more forms to fill out. "Send a message to the Council," he ordered. "Tell them." He paused as another stack of forms appeared on his desk. Tell them we might be slightly delayed. On Earth, Janet from the Department of Interstellar Paperwork smiled as she added the alien fleet to her schedule. Let's pencil them in for initial review next spring, she told her assistant. After they finished the preliminary paperwork, of course, Commander Susan White of Earth's Space Defense Force was in the middle of cake testing when the aliens began their psychological warfare campaign. Her phone buzzed with an emergency alert just as she was trying to decide between vanilla buttercream and chocolate ganache. Ma'am, her assistant reported, the aliens are broadcasting doomsday messages across all frequencies. Mom, Susan said, taking another bite of cake. How's the vanilla sample, Jim? I think my fiancé would prefer this one for the wedding. On every TV, radio, and electronic billboard across Earth, the alien message played. Humans, tremble before your might. Your civilization will be reduced to ash. At Times Square in New York, tourists took selfies with the threatening message in the background. One street vendor had already started selling t-shirts that read, I survived the alien invasion, and all I got was this lousy t-shirt. The alien psychological warfare team watched in confusion as their threats were turned into memes within hours. Their scariest warship image had been photoshopped to wear a funny hat. Someone had added cute cat ears to their fearsome Supreme Commander's portrait. Sir, one alien analyst reported to his superior, the humans are making dance videos with our threat messages as background music. Back at Space Defense Headquarters, Commander White was reviewing the situation while discussing flower arrangements with her wedding planner. So they've positioned their fleet in a threatening formation, she asked, looking at both the tactical display and a bridal magazine. That's nice. Do you think roses or lilies would work better for the centerpieces? Her tactical officer cleared his throat. Ma'am, they're demanding our immediate surrender. Put them on hold, she said, then turned back to the wedding planner. The roses, definitely. Now, about the alien fleet. Mark them as a road hazard on Google Maps and send them a noise complaint for their doomsday broadcasts. That should keep them busy for a while. The aliens' next strategy was to demonstrate their superior technology. They created massive light shows in the sky, displaying their advanced weapons. Most humans just assumed it was some new advertising campaign. At a coffee shop in Seattle, two friends watched the alien ships performing intimidating maneuvers overhead. Pretty cool effects, said one, not looking up from his laptop. Better than last year's Super Bowl halftime show. Yeah, his friend replied, typing on his phone. Hey, do you think they deliver? Like, could we order space food through Uber Eats? The alien commanders were growing desperate. Their most terrifying threats were being rated on social media. Their fearsome battle cries had been remixed into catchy pop songs. Someone had even started a fashion trend based on their military uniforms. They decided to broadcast scenes from their previous conquests, showing the destruction of other worlds. This backfired when humans started critiquing their invasion techniques like movie reviewers. The special effects are okay. Read one popular review. But the plot is pretty generic. 3 stars out of 5. In her office, Commander White was finalizing both defense strategies and wedding invitations when another report came in. Ma'am, the aliens are threatening to demonstrate their planet-destroying weapon. Fine, she said, addressing wedding invitations. Tell them they'll need a demolition permit and to file an environmental impact statement. Also, check if they've booked a time slot. We've got a meteor shower scheduled for next week, and I don't want any scheduling conflicts. The alien psychological warfare team held an emergency meeting. Nothing was working. Their threats were turned into jokes, their demonstrations were treated like entertainment, and their ultimatums were getting caught in endless reply-all email chains about proper paperwork procedures. How do you intimidate a species? One alien commander asked desperately. That responds to threats of planetary destruction by asking about parking validation. Meanwhile, Commander White had finally solved her biggest crisis of the day. She'd found the perfect centerpieces for her wedding, and they were even on sale. Apparently, the flower shop was running an alien invasion special. Officer Bill Rogers was having a normal morning writing parking tickets when the alien ground forces landed in downtown Portland. He watched their massive battle walker stomp into a parking space, then checked his watch and smiled. The meter had just expired. The alien commander emerged from the walker, ready to announce their dominion over Earth. Instead, he found a small piece of paper fluttering under his vehicle's windshield wiper. "What is this?" he demanded, pointing at the ticket. "You're in a 2-hour parking zone," Bill explained calmly, writing another ticket. "Also, your walker is taking up 3 spaces. That's 3 separate violations. But we're invading." "Still need to feed the meter," Bill shrugged. "And you're parked next to a fire hydrant. That's another ticket." Across the street, construction worker Mike Anderson was operating his jackhammer. The alien troops marching past had to shout to be heard over the noise. "Could you stop that?" the alien sergeant asked. "We're trying to conquer your city." "Sorry, buddy," Mike said, pointing to his work order. "Got to fix this water main. Scheduled maintenance. You know how it is. Watch out for the wet cement over there." Several alien soldiers had already stepped in the fresh concrete and were stuck. At the local Starbucks, the barista was dealing with an increasingly frustrated alien scout. "What do you mean, you need my name for the order?" the alien demanded. "It's policy," the barista explained patiently. "And do you want whipped cream on that Galaxy Chino?" "I am here to gather intelligence for the invasion." "Okay, I'll put invasion on the cup. That'll be $5.75. Do you have our rewards app?" Meanwhile, the alien command center set up in the city park was having its own problems. A group of joggers kept running through their security perimeter. Pokémon Go players wandered past their secret communications array hunting for rare spawns, and a local dog walker's pets had taken a particular interest in their equipment. "Sir," an alien lieutenant reported, "we can't establish our base here. Apparently, there's a farmer's market every Thursday, and they've already booked the space." The invasion hit another snag when their tanks got stuck in the afternoon school traffic. Crossing guards made them wait while kids left school, and several mom vans cut in front of their armored column to pick up their children. At City Hall, the aliens tried to demand Earth's surrender from the mayor. They took a number and waited their turn. "Now serving number 47, the electronic voice called. "That's us," the alien commander said excitedly. "Oh, sorry," the clerk said, looking at their paperwork. "You filled out form TR12 instead of TR12A. You'll need to start over. Window 3 has the correct forms." In the suburbs, an alien scout team found their house-to-house search interrupted by a homeowners association representative. "Excuse me," Karen from the HOA said, clipboard in hand. "Your battle armor doesn't meet our color scheme guidelines. And those plasma rifles, not approved by the architectural committee." The alien general, trying to coordinate the invasion, was losing his mind. His forces were scattered across the city, dealing with parking tickets piling up on their vehicles, construction detours splitting their units, getting stuck in customer service phone trees trying to set up Earth Internet, being signed up for multiple store loyalty programs, local businesses trying to sell them extended warranties. His command center received a constant stream of bizarre reports. "Sir, humans keep asking us to take group selfies. The coffee shop spelled my name wrong on purpose. My unit is stuck behind a slow-moving garbage truck. The locals want us to sign a petition about bicycle lanes. Someone's grandmother keeps trying to feed us cookies." The final straw came when their fearsome battle walkers were all booted for unpaid parking tickets. The city wouldn't remove the boots until they paid the fines, but the payment system was down for maintenance. As the alien general stared at the system temporarily unavailable message on the parking authority's website, he realized that perhaps they had underestimated Earth's true defensive capabilities, the power of everyday inconvenience. The emergency meeting of the Galactic Council's War Committee wasn't going well. Admiral Krell's hologram flickered as he delivered his report, occasionally interrupted by what sounded suspiciously like hold music. "Supreme Chancellor," he said, "I regret to inform you that our invasion has been compromised." Compromised? How? The Chancellor demanded. "Well, sir, the humans." Admiral Krell checked his notes. "They've started sending door-to-door salespeople to our ships. They're trying to sell us extended warranties for our war machines." In the council chambers, several representatives gasped. One fainted. "That's not the worst part," the Admiral continued. "They've also been leaving take-out menus on our ship's windshields, and someone keeps calling about our vehicle's extended warranty." Meanwhile on Earth, Mary from Premium Extended Warranties was having a great sales week. She'd just finished her pitch to an alien battlecruiser commander. "So if your death ray malfunctions after the manufacturer's warranty expires, we've got you covered," she explained cheerfully. "Should I put you down for the gold package? It includes free oil changes for your laser cannons." The alien commander looked tempted. "Does it cover damage from asteroid impacts?" Back at the council meeting, reports kept getting worse. "Sir," another general reported, "the humans have started rating our invasion on their review websites. We're only getting 3 stars out of 5. They're complaining that our death rays aren't eco-friendly." On Earth's social media, #AlienInvasionReviews was trending. Invasion forces showed up late and didn't even bring snacks. 2/5 stars. Battle walkers were impressive, but their color scheme is so last season. 3/5. Tried to destroy my city, but their ray guns didn't work in the rain. Would not recommend. The council's psychological warfare expert was next to report. His tentacles were tied in stress knots. "The humans," he said, twitching. "They've started making documentaries about our invasion. They're interviewing our soldiers about their feelings. Someone called Netflix keeps offering us a reality TV show deal." A film crew was indeed following an alien squad, documentary style. The cameraman filmed as the alien surgeon tried to look menacing. "So, how does it feel being part of a galactic invasion force?" the interviewer asked. "Well, honestly," the surgeon replied, "the hours are long. The benefits aren't great. And Earth's Wi-Fi password keeps changing." The council's morale officer reported next. "Our troops are getting distracted. They're becoming addicted to human social media. Half the fleet is busy trying to become TikTok famous." It was true. Alien soldiers were posting dance videos from their ships. One battlecruiser crew had gone viral with their synchronized floating dance routine. The financial officer's report was even more devastating. "The humans' corporate sector has begun targeting our forces. They're offering our soldiers credit cards with 0% interest for the first 6 months, and something called student loan refinancing." In orbit, Steve from Orbital Express Insurance was giving his sales pitch to an alien destroyer captain. "Look," Steve said, "you're flying a multi-billion credit warship. You really should have comprehensive coverage. What if you hit a satellite? Your rates go up like crazy without the right insurance." The Supreme Chancellor listened to report after report. Alien soldiers getting addicted to human fast food delivery. Troops going over their data plans watching Earth streaming services. Ships being towed for parking and loading zones. Soldiers arguing about their Yelp reviews of Earth restaurants. Multiple crews signing up for Earth gym memberships. Finally, the Chief of Intelligence delivered the killing blow. "Sir," he said gravely, "the humans have begun sending us spam emails. Our communication systems are flooded with offers for discount pharmaceuticals and messages from princes needing to transfer money." The Supreme Chancellor slumped in his floating throne. Their fearsome invasion force, meant to spread terror and destruction, had instead become consumers, social media influencers, and unwitting subscribers to various streaming services. "How?" he whispered. "How do they keep defeating our most advanced psychological warfare with minor inconveniences and subscription services?" On Earth, Tom Miller, the human ambassador, was filing his weekly report, alien invasion proceeding as expected. They should be fully distracted by free trial offers and rewards programs within the week. Recommend sending them information about timeshare presentations next. The Galactic Council's formal request for peace talks arrived on a Tuesday morning. It was stuck in Earth's spam folder until Thursday afternoon. When they finally opened it, the message was clear: "We surrender. Please stop sending us marketing emails." Tom Miller, Earth's ambassador, suggested holding the peace negotiations at the Department of Motor Vehicles in Cleveland, Ohio. "It's the perfect place," he explained to his superiors. "Nobody expects anything to happen quickly at the DMV." The Supreme Chancellor of the Galactic Council arrived at 9 a.m. sharp, only to find himself at the end of a long line. His delegation of highly advanced beings stood between a teenager getting his first license and an elderly woman renewing her registration. "Now serving number 23, the automated voice announced. The Chancellor checked his ticket, 147. "This is outrageous," he whispered to his advisors. "We rule 200 star systems. Please take a number and wait to be called," the security guard said, not looking up from his crossword puzzle. The aliens watched in horror as humans around them seemed completely used to this torture. Some were napping, others were playing on their phones, and one man had brought an entire TV dinner. Meanwhile, Earth's negotiation team was stuck in traffic. "Sorry we're late," Tom Miller said when they finally arrived at 11:30. "There was a coffee spill on the highway. Also, we need to fill out Form 27B/6 before we can start the negotiations." "What's Form 27B/6? The Chancellor asked wearily. "It's the form to request the form that lets us begin filling out the peace treaty forms." By lunchtime, the alien delegation had learned several painful lessons about Earth bureaucracy. Their advanced universal translator didn't understand government form language. They needed 2 forms of ID, and their galactic passports weren't accepted. The computer system was down for updates. The only working printer was out of ink. The credit card machine was offline, and they didn't accept galactic credits. "Now serving number 46, the voice announced. The Chancellor's eye twitched. "Perhaps we should just leave." "You'll lose your place in line," the security guard warned. "Have to start over tomorrow." Finally, at 3:45 p.m., it was their turn. The peace treaty negotiation began at Window 7, where Linda had been working for 20 years. "Honey," she said to the Supreme Chancellor, "your form's not filled out in blue ink. You'll need to redo it." By 4:55 p.m., just before closing time, the final peace treaty was ready. Its main points included: Earth would remain independent. The Council would stop their invasion. Humans would stop sending spam emails to alien ships. Earth agreed to share their coffee and pizza technology. The Council got a 10% discount at participating Earth retailers. As the Chancellor signed the last page, Linda stamped it officially. "Now you'll need copies for your records," she said. "The copy machine is down the hall, $2 per page, exact change only." 1 week later, at the Galactic Council chambers, the Chancellor gave his final report on Earth. "In conclusion," he said, "we faced an enemy too powerful to defeat. Their weapons were not ships or guns, but rather endless paperwork, customer service hold music, DMV waiting lines, expired parking meters, social media addiction, marketing emails, and worst of all, bureaucracy." The Council voted unanimously to never invade Earth again. Some representatives even suggested building a warning beacon to keep other civilizations away. Back on Earth, life continued as normal. The only signs that anything had happened were a few new alien restaurants getting decent Yelp reviews, some UFOs still getting parking tickets, occasional complaints about alien ships not following HFY guidelines, a popular new TikTok trend of alien dance moves. Tom Miller sat in his office, enjoying his lunch and reading about the Council's decision. His phone buzzed with a text from his wife. "Honey, Some alien diplomats want to rent our spare room on Erm. Should I tell them about our no pets policy? He smiled and typed back, "Sure, but make sure they fill out the standard 12-page rental application first." The greatest invasion in galactic history had been defeated not by Earth's military might, but by its most powerful weapon, everyday inconvenience.